Good Tuesday evening, everybody, and happy October. Here's your tropical update that we're focusing mainly on Hurricane Kirk. Became a tropical storm yesterday, is intensifying and will continue to do so, likely becoming a major hurricane in just a short while. Here's the stats on it. Category 1 hurricane, just barely 75 mile per hour winds, gusts to 90. Now, this is an 18-hour loop of infrared satellite imagery, and you can see it slowly organizing and intensifying. Some bigger flares of convection, colder cloud tops indicated by the shades of white there. You're seeing bubbling on up close to the center of Kirk, and that's a sign of intensification, and that should help it to continue to strengthen up to a Category 2. Wednesday, by Thursday, we're at a Cat 3, likely maxing out at 125 mile per hour winds. But the good news with this storm, as we've been talking about for the last couple of days, is it does take a northwest turn and then a north turn, keeping it way out in the Atlantic. Here's Bermuda right here, so even well to the east of Bermuda. Now, could there still be swells that make it to Bermuda and eventually the east coast of the U.S.? Yes, so indirect impacts, but the storm itself will stay far away from land, which is great news. Now, it's not the only thing we're watching. We've got two other waves out there in the Atlantic basin, one that's right on the heels of Kirk, that's now got a pretty much a sure bet of becoming the next named storm. It's at 90% odds in 2 days and 7 days, and that next name is Leslie. But one that's a little bit closer to home here is this wave that is potentially getting itself going. This is it right here. And as it drifts off to the north and west into the far western portions of the Caribbean, and then eventually builds into the southern Gulf of Mexico, models are still trying to get a handle on what may come of this wave. For now, the odds of developing are really low in the next 48 hours, only at 10%. But within 7 days, it's holding steady at 40%. It's been that way for the last 2 days. So what are models seeing here? Well, what's going on is there's a big spin in the atmosphere here, something called the Central American Gyre. And that was responsible for pinching off a piece of energy and throwing it north, which became Helene. Will this be similar? You can't tell if that's going to be the case or not. Models right now are very messy with how it does develop. It doesn't really pinch off a piece of energy and develop it into a major storm or anything like that, like we were seeing with Helene. However, regardless, anytime you're getting a piece of energy, a spin in the atmosphere entering very favorable environment that'll likely be in most of the Gulf of Mexico, aside from some increasing wind shear, it's something to watch. I'll tell you, the latest computer models do show some sort of development here in the southern Gulf of Mexico, southern western Gulf of Mexico, and then drifting to the north and east. So we'll see. That's likely 7-8 days out. So there's a lot of time between now and then, but certainly something to keep a close eye on. That's the latest in today's update. We just got Kirk out there, going to be a major probably by the next time we talk. And we'll see what happens with these other two waves. If you have any questions, you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, and on TikTok.